Let's honor 11 unforgettable NCIS stars who have passed away, each leaving behind a lasting legacy in the hearts of fans and in the history of television. From terminal illnesses to shocking tragedies, they brought smiles to our screens despite their own personal pain. Now it's time to take a closer look at the real lives they lived beyond the spotlight. David McCallum as Dr. Donald Ducky Mallard. David Keith McCallum was born on September 19, 1933, in Glasgow, Scotland. He began portraying Dr. Donald Ducky Mallard on NCIS in 2003, when he was 70 years old. Ducky was the team's seasoned medical examiner, a man full of historical tales, sharp intellect, and a kind heart. The role became his legacy, spanning 20 seasons and turning him into a living icon of the series. But behind the refined, eloquent Ducky was a man who had tasted glory, betrayal, and heartbreak. In 1957, McCallum married actress Jill Ireland. The couple had 3 children and were considered a golden couple of 1950s Hollywood. But by 1967, after years of distance caused by heavy work schedules, they divorced. Jill later married Charles Bronson, McCallum's co-star in a film. It was a brutal, emotional blow. Colleagues said McCallum was so devastated he withdrew from major projects for years. Fortunately, life gave him a second chapter when he met model Catherine Carpenter. They married in 1967 and stayed together for 58 years. But even in this new life, McCallum faced tragedy. His adopted son with Jill Ireland died from a drug overdose. He carried that grief forever, haunted by the space between work and family. Before NCIS, he had already become a global sensation as Ilya Kuryakin in The Man from UNCLE. So famous, he once received more fan mail than Elvis Presley. But after that craze faded, Hollywood moved on. McCallum chose to start over, studying symphonic music, acting, and even forensics, until he returned as Ducky. That persistence helped him build an estimated net worth of $15 million, mostly from NCIS, music royalties, and decades of TV work. David McCallum passed away on September 25th, 2023, just 6 days after his 90th birthday, from natural causes. In a strange coincidence, that same day, CBS aired a special celebrating 20 years of NCIS. He left quietly, just as he had lived. Miguel Ferrer as Owen Granger. Miguel Jose Ferrer was born on February 7, 1955. He joined NCIS, Los Angeles, in 2012, when he was 54 years old, playing assistant director Owen Granger, a sharp, secretive figure who always kept viewers guessing. He portrayed the character for 6 seasons, but few knew he was battling throat cancer the entire time. Born into a legendary Hollywood family, the son of Jose Ferrer and Rosemary Clooney, and cousin to George Clooney, Miguel didn't ride on anyone's coattails. He built his career from the ground up, first gaining acclaim as the ambitious executive Bob Morton in RoboCop, then as the biting, brilliant forensic specialist Albert Rosenfield in Twin Peaks. With dozens of roles in film, TV, and animation, he earned an estimated net worth of $4 million, all by talent and grit. Though success came, his health began to fail. Miguel had smoked for decades, and it quietly led to throat cancer. It started with a hoarse voice, then trouble breathing, then chest pain. Still, he kept showing up on set. He hid his illness behind Granger's stern expression. Eventually, his condition worsened. The producers had to write "Granger has cancer" into the show, not to add depth, but because Miguel couldn't hide it anymore. His body was fading, but his voice and eyes stayed sharp. No one dared ask him to quit, because they knew if he stopped, he might never return. He died on January 19, 2017, at his Santa Monica home, just months after filming his final scenes. The cause: heart failure due to complications from throat cancer. He left without warning, without spectacle. But the loss was real. George Clooney mourned him as the light that left the room. Ralph Waite as Jackson Gibbs. Ralph Waite was born on June 22, 1928. He joined NCIS in 2008 when he was 79 years old, portraying Jackson Gibbs, the stern but loving father of Agent Leroy Jethro Gibbs. He appeared from Season 6 to Season 11, leaving a deep impression in just 8 episodes, with his steady gaze and words that lingered. But few knew the man who seemed to embody America's father figure had endured profound personal loss. His first marriage fell apart after his eldest daughter died of leukemia at age 9. Her death in 1964 left a wound that never healed. 2 more marriages followed, both ended in divorce. Waite rose to fame as John Walton Sr. in The Waltons, a 1970s TV classic. For over 200 episodes, he played the ideal father, directing, writing, and protecting the family spirit of the cast and crew. His later career included roles in The Bodyguard, Cliffhanger, Roots, and Bones, often playing wise patriarchs. Though never a box office star, he continued to work, amassing a modest net worth of $2 million through sheer dedication. As his health declined, he returned to religion in 2010, when he was over 80 years old, trying to find peace from past grief. Around that time, he accepted the role on NCIS. In his final appearance, his character, Jackson Gibbs, was shown clearing out his old garage, preparing for retirement. 3 months later, Waite passed away in real life at age 85 from natural causes on February 13, 2014. The episode Honor Thy Father served as a quiet farewell, not through tears, but through respect. René Auberjonois as Felix Betts. René Auberjonois was born on June 1, 1940. In 2011, when he was 73 years old, he appeared in NCIS as Felix Betts, a cold, sharp, and enigmatic intelligence officer. He appeared only once, but his deep voice, stern gaze, and icy expression left a lasting impression on viewers. He was a descendant of French royalty, the great-great-grandson of Napoleon Bonaparte's sister. Over his career, he played more than 200 roles, from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Boston Legal, to The Little Mermaid, Batman, and dozens of iconic video games. With his unmistakable voice, he became a silent legend in the voiceover world, building a net worth of approximately $5 million. At the end of 2018, he was diagnosed with lung cancer. After a few months of chemotherapy, the cancer spread to his brain. Doctors recommended full brain radiation, but he declined. He understood what awaited him: memory loss, speech loss, even the inability to recognize loved ones. In December 2019, he chose to end things on his own terms, under California's End-of-Life Option Act. In his final 2 days, he spent time with his wife and children, reminiscing, looking at old photos, and listening to his favorite music. No hospital, no machines, no tears, just a death, orchestrated like a final scene, peaceful and completely lucid. He passed away on December 8, 2019, at the age of 79. The death certificate listed metastatic lung cancer as the cause of death. But for those who had seen him act, heard him speak, and felt the weight of his gaze as Odo, or the calm of his voice work, that death was also a beautiful farewell from a true artist. Vachik Mangasarian as fake Iranian President Qasim Nasir. Vachik Mangasarian was born in May 1943 in Iran to an Armenian family. He appeared in NCIS and NCIS Los Angeles from 2012 to 2015 when he was around 69 years old. His most memorable role was that of a fake Iranian president, a shady, calculating character whose piercing eyes and authentic Middle Eastern accent left a lingering unease. In real life, Mangasarian arrived in the U.S. at age 23, an unknown immigrant who worked as a waiter while chasing his dream of acting. It took him nearly 3 decades to land supporting roles in films like The Stoning of Soraya M., Agents of SHIELD, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. He also hosted the Armenian National Network for 10 years, a rare media voice for the Armenian diaspora. In his final years, tragedy came not only through illness. Throughout 2020 and 2021, he publicly opposed the COVID-19 vaccine, frequently sharing conspiracy memes on social media. Yet eventually, he got vaccinated, according to his representative, due to production requirements. Forced to choose between career and belief, he chose acting, though reluctantly. On January 23, 2022, he died of COVID-19 complications at his home in Burbank, California, at the age of 78. His surviving sisters, spouse, and nieces watched as the inevitable unfolded, not because the virus was too powerful, but because Vachik no longer had enough faith to protect himself. An artist who lived between two worlds, migration and Hollywood, resistance and compromise, was gone, leaving behind both regret and a warning. Heath Freeman as Benjamin Frank, Howard Epps. Heath Freeman was born on June 23, 1980. In 2011, when he was 30 years old, he appeared in NCIS as Benjamin Frank, a mysterious character who left viewers feeling uneasy. To land that role, he had already terrified audiences as Howard Epps, the first serial killer in Bones, a performance that cemented his image as a chilling psychological villain. Off-screen, Freeman was charming and elegant, but beneath the surface were shadows no one fully understood. He worked as a producer and screenwriter on several indie projects before his death. That work ethic helped him accumulate a net worth of around $1 million. At the time of his death, he was preparing for 3 new films: Devil's Fruit, The Outlaw Johnny Black, and Terror on the Prairie, all in post-production. On November 14, 2021, Heath Freeman was found unresponsive in bed at his home in Austin, Texas. Police discovered oxycodone and Xanax nearby. The autopsy confirmed he died from mixed drug toxicity: fentanyl, cocaine, hydrocodone, oxycodone, alprazolam, and alcohol, a lethal cocktail. The death was ruled an accident, but even though it wasn't labeled suicide, the painful truth remained. He had lost control over what was slowly killing him. There was no public record of substance abuse, no visible signs of decline. That's what made his death even more shocking. A sudden cold end at age 41. A rising talent gone in an instant, leaving behind unfinished roles, incomplete projects, and a silence fans could not name. Annie Wersching as Gail Walsh. Ann Wersching was born on March 28, 1977, in St. Louis, Missouri. In 2010, when she was just 33 years old, she appeared in one episode of NCIS as Assistant District Attorney Gail Walsh, a cold, decisive figure who pushed the case's tension to its peak. With her sharp stare and firm voice, she made a lasting impression in mere minutes. Over more than 2 decades, Ann became a familiar face on American television. From playing Agent Renee Walker in 24, to Lily Salvatore in The Vampire Diaries, to Tess in The Last of Us video game, where she provided voice and motion capture, she brought depth and vitality to every role. Through those roles, she earned a net worth of about $5 million, the result of hard work and a solid reputation. In 2009, Ann married actor and comedian Stephen Full. They lived a quiet, humble life in Los Angeles, raising their 3 sons with love and understanding. To her family and friends, she was a kind mother, devoted wife, and a woman who always put her loved ones first. In mid-2020, Ann was diagnosed with adenoid cystic carcinoma, a rare and aggressive cancer. Even through the pain, she completed her role as the Borg Queen in Star Trek, Picard, and filmed scenes for The Rookie. Her resilience made it all the more shocking when news of her death broke. On January 29, 2023, Anne passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 45. She left behind 3 young children, a grieving husband, and millions of viewers who never got the chance to say goodbye. Cheney Klay as Paul Brinkman. Cheney Klay Minnis was born on August 20th, 1972, in Virginia, USA. He appeared in NCIS in 2003, when he was 30 years old, playing Lance Corporal Paul Brinkman in the 2nd episode of the 1st season. Though it was a small role, Cheney left a mark with his genuine expressions and a maturity that seemed beyond his years. Few could have guessed it would be one of his rare appearances on screen, a brief moment in the spotlight of a short-lived talent. Cheney Klay began his career in Chicago theater, where he won Best Actor at the Joseph Jefferson Awards in 1998. He gradually transitioned to television, appearing in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Cold Case, Las Vegas, and The Shield. His lead role in the 2003 horror film Darkness Falls brought him closer to mainstream audiences. Thanks to these projects, his net worth at his peak was estimated at around $500,000. But that success was fleeting. On July 24, 2007, just 3 weeks before his 35th birthday, he was found dead in his apartment in Venice, California. The cause? Complications from sleep apnea, a dangerous but often underestimated condition. He left quietly, with his final role in One Way to Valhalla released posthumously in 2009. Klay's passing shocked many. His illness had never been publicly disclosed. Some doctors believe the warning signs may have been overlooked amid the stress of filming and the pressures of the industry. Sam Sarpong as Sea Dog. Sam Sarpong was born on December 19, 1974, in London, England. In 2003, at just 28 years old, he made a brief but unforgettable appearance in NCIS, playing the role of Sea Dog in the show's very first season. Though his time on the series was short, he left a mark that resonated with viewers. What many didn't see, however, was the storm he carried inside, one that Hollywood, in all its glamour, could never fully understand or heal. At the age of 11, Sam relocated with his family to Los Angeles. Like many young boys, he dreamed of becoming a professional basketball player. But when that dream didn't pan out, he channeled his energy into the entertainment industry with relentless determination. His breakthrough came not in acting, but in modeling, where he made history as one of the first black male models to become a global face for Tommy Hilfiger, representing the brand for over 6 years. From there, Sam's career blossomed. He appeared in more than 60 films and 55 television shows, often taking on roles that reflected his charisma, energy, and unique cultural voice. He was a familiar presence on MTV, a co-host of popular shows, and a regular at the BET Awards. His talent even earned him the Best Lead Actor award at the San Diego Film Festival for his performance in No Weapons. At the peak of his career, Sam's net worth was estimated at around $500,000, a symbol not just of success, but also of how difficult it was to sustain stardom in an ever-demanding industry. To the world, Sam was vibrant, always smiling, always stylish, always showing up. But beneath the surface, he was silently grappling with the heavy burdens of fame, the pressure to succeed, the fear of fading, the emotional toll of being constantly in the spotlight, yet often feeling alone. Friends and colleagues described him as deeply kind, incredibly talented, and always pushing forward, even when the weight of life threatened to pull him under. On October 26, 2015, Sam walked onto the Colorado Street Bridge in Pasadena, California. For 7 hours, authorities tried to talk him down. But ultimately, the inner pain proved too overwhelming. Sam jumped, and the world lost a bright and beloved soul at just 40 years old. His death sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Many were left stunned, heartbroken, and searching for answers. Sam Sarpong's passing served as a stark reminder that success and style can hide deep sorrow. and that sometimes the ones who seem the strongest are fighting battles no one sees. Jessica Walter as Joanna. Jessica Walter was born on January 31st, 1941. In 2005, when she was 64 years old, she appeared in NCIS as Joanna, a well-developed antagonist who made a strong impression in her brief appearance. The role added another layer to her already diverse and enduring career. Her film career soared when she played Evelyn in Play Misty for Me, a haunting, violent woman who made critics shiver. She once shared that the role made people mistake her for being mentally unstable in real life, proof of her exceptional acting. Her career spanned more than 60 years, from Broadway to TV and animation, most notably as Lucille Bluth in Arrested Development, a boozy, sharp-tongued matriarch as chilling as she was hilarious. That role helped her build a net worth of about $4 million by the time she passed. Off-screen, her life had its share of bitter turns. Her first marriage to director Ross Bowman nearly ended in tragedy when a fire broke out in their apartment, nearly costing her life. She survived, but the marriage eventually ended. In 1983, she married actor Ron Liebman, who later became her co-star and lifelong partner until his death in 2019. They lived and worked together on stage, television, and even in animated roles. She once said she wasn't religious, but very Jewish in spirit. Jessica Walter died peacefully in her sleep on March 24, 2021, at her home in Manhattan. She was 80 years old. She left this world gently, just as she had quietly stepped back from the spotlight. And perhaps that was the final act of a remarkable life in show business. Michael Gilden as Marty Pearson. Michael Jeffrey Gilden was born on September 22, 1962, and was a little person actor standing at only 1.2 meters tall. At 41, he played Marty Pearson in NCIS in 2005, a quirky, intelligent scientist and former lover of Abby Ciuto. Though he appeared in only 2 episodes, his character brought emotional depth to a side plot and made a lasting impact on viewers. Gilden's career was a journey of perseverance in an industry often unkind to those who are different. From playing an Ewok in Return of the Jedi to roles in Pulp Fiction, Charmed, CSI, and Family Law, he often took small but vibrant roles. In addition to acting, he was also a stunt performer and even a financial advisor, proving his versatility and independence. After over 2 decades of non-stop work, his net worth at the time of death was estimated at $300,000. His personal life was a touching tale of love and trust. In 1997, he met Meredith Eaton, a woman as petite as he was, and encouraged her to pursue acting. They married in 2001, becoming a symbol of love that transcended physical appearance and fate. But behind the spotlight and warm smile were fractures no one saw. On December 5, 2006, Michael Gilden was found dead by suicide, having hanged himself at his Los Angeles home. He was 44 years old. The underlying cause was never publicly revealed, but many in the industry believe he may have silently battled depression. His death stands as a powerful reminder. Sometimes, those who bring the most joy are the ones who need to be heard the most. Fran Bennett as Mary Elaine. Fran Bennett was born on August 14, 1937, in Malvern, Arkansas. She appeared in NCIS in 2005 when she was 69 years old, playing Mary Elaine, a small but memorable role marked by calm presence and dignified authority, trademarks of her acting career. It was just one of hundreds of appearances she made on television, where she consistently brought power and gravitas to supporting roles, especially in long-running drama series. Fran began her career in theater and transitioned to television through the soap opera Guiding Light. She quickly established herself in major shows such as Roots, The Next Generations, Dallas, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, and L.A. Law. Though never a household name, she was one of the most recognizable faces in American television, especially for fans of serious drama. Beyond acting, Fran Bennett was also a dedicated educator. From 1996 to 2003, she served as head of the acting program at the California Institute of the Arts, CalArts, where she taught and mentored generations of young actors. She once said that teaching helped her stay grounded and sane in an industry full of glamour but fragile by nature. In 2019, when she was 82 years old, she surprised audiences with a live performance on Live in front of a studio audience, portraying Mother Olivia Jefferson, a beloved figure from Black sitcom history. Despite her age, Fran exuded poise, subtlety, and depth, a final testament to her ageless talent. On September 12, 2021, Fran Bennett passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 84. The cause of death was not disclosed, but her passing left a profound void in the hearts of her students, co-stars, and those inspired by her performances. Francesco Quinn as Luis Romero. Francesco Daniele Quinn was born on March 22, 1963, in Rome, Italy. He was the eldest son of film legend Anthony Quinn and costume designer Iolanda Adalori. In 2010, when he was 48 years old, he appeared in NCIS as Special Agent Luis Romero, a brief yet weighty role, marking a quiet punctuation at the end of a career that spanned more than 2 decades. With his warm voice, rugged features, and deeply expressive eyes, Francesco became widely known for his role as Ra in Oliver Stone's Oscar-winning film Platoon. Like his father, he gravitated toward complex outsider characters: warriors, terrorists, vampires. He played Captain Latino in Into the West, the terrorist Syed Ali in 24, and the final villain in The Shield. In addition to film and television, he was a skilled voice actor. His final role was voicing Autobot Dino in Transformers: Dark of the Moon. He was also one of the early actors to perform in video games, notably as a lead character in Command & Conquer: Tiberian Sun. His versatile talents helped him earn a net worth of about $1 million. His personal life, however, was turbulent. His marriage to Julie McCann ended after more than a decade, leaving behind 2 children, Massimiliano and Michela. He later found deep love with Valentina Castellani. Although born into a legendary family, he always sought to build his own path. Instead of scandals or excess, he found release in extreme sports: motorcycle racing, skiing, free diving, and mountain biking. On August 5, 2011, tragedy struck. While jogging with his children near their home in Malibu, he suddenly collapsed from a heart attack. Francesco died at the age of 48, just as his career was reaching a new peak. His funeral was private, but grief over his loss spread throughout the world of indie film and television. Tony Armatrading as guest character. Tony Armatrading was born on November 30, 1961, in Birmingham, England. When he was 47 years old, he made a special guest appearance on NCIS in 2009. Though it was a minor role, he brought depth and presence to the character, true to his discreet, sharp, and thoughtful acting style. He was the younger brother of legendary singer Joan Armatrading, but chose a path in acting. With steady patience, he built a reputation through roles in Notting Hill, 1999, The Saint, 1997, and Now You See Me Too, 2016. His career was not marked by red carpets, but by substance, filled with memorable supporting roles. He wasn't a household name, but he was a familiar and respected figure in casting rooms across the UK and Hollywood. Thanks to his consistent international work, his net worth before his death was estimated at around $400,000, more a reflection of discipline and stability than celebrity. His private life was equally discreet. He married actress Susan Crowley in 1997, and the two remained together until his passing. There were no scandals, no controversies. Tony led a quiet life, choosing stage and screen over glamour. His greatest battle came in his final years: cancer. He fought quietly and with resilience, sharing little with the public. On May 10, 2021, Tony Armatrading passed away in the UK at the age of 59. His death left a quiet void for all who had worked with him. The legacy of these departed NCIS stars lives on in every episode and in the hearts of fans. Which of their moments on screen moved you the most? Share your memories and join us in honoring these unforgettable legends.